All right, guys. So, Uncanny X-Men 188. There's really a lot going on in this issue, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. So, pretty much, the beginning of the issue starts with, the X-Men and Forge kind of wrapping up this whole battle with the Raves. And we even get, like, Amanda, who is Nightcrawler's girlfriend, helping out with the fight. And I think Forge ends up, like, getting away or ends up being abandoned. So that plot line's over with, but I don't think we've seen the last of Forge. I think he's going to be back in some capacity. Um, and then out in the Bermuda Triangle, Lee Forrester, who is this character that has been, I think, in the beginning of this book, she discovers Magneto off of a, kind of drifting out into the sea. So that plot line is still there. So interesting to see where that goes. Back at the X Mansion, the X-Men return with Storm. She's safe, and she tells them that she's no longer a mutant, and she doesn't feel like she wants to be part of the X-Men, and doesn't want to join. Kurt's, Nightcrawler is very sad about this and tries to get her to convince her to stay. Keep in mind too, at this point, the New Mutants are still living in the house, so you have Rachel Summers, Ileana, and Sunspot. I forgot to mention, Ileana actually shows up to help rescue the X-Men and Storm from the Wraiths in the beginning of the issue. So that's cool to see that. But we get some really heavy talk going on here. We get Nightcrawler talking about the Mutant Control Act, what's happened to Storm, and, he kind of questions Xavier. He's like, why are we still fighting this fight? The government's pretty much turned on us now. They've depowered one of our members, and they've, he goes on off a list of all these other people that have suffered, and stuff like that. So at this time, we also hear about, I think it's Nightcrawler who mentions about Rachel or Jean Grey dying, and that kind of triggers Rachel Summers to lash out, because it kind of triggers some bad stuff. And keep in mind, Rachel's still from the future, so she explains a story about her past, which may or may not be the X-Men's future. So it's really interesting to see all that kind of, how all this is kind of boiling. A lot of this stuff is playing off of the Days of Future Past storyline, so it looks like we're kind of revisiting that a little bit with Rachel's presence in this book. So we kind of get that, and it's just really interesting. I mean, I think this is really tempting, and I don't know why they split up this way, but the next issue after this issue is the first Kitty Pryde and Wolverine story. So it's really interesting that they cut it off at this point, because it seems like there's a lot of stuff that's boiling over here. The end of the issue ends with a guy in a shipping yard named Jamie Rodriguez finding an amulet that he will use to rule the world. So not sure where that plot thread is going, but just a lot of stuff going on in this issue. Definitely jam-packed. This one, definitely the conversation going on with Kurt, and the argument he had with Xavier, I think, is probably one of the most real life things going on in this book. It's very, very deep conversation, and I really enjoyed reading it. And this just makes me know why I miss these characters so much. I really missed this whole series. So that is Uncanny X-Men 188, guys.